Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. Well, the numbers are in for the Calgary Real Estate Board for the month of October. Now, I've also added one more graph you're going to see at the very end. It's a line graph that will show you the number of sales that have taken place over the last 3 years. Now, I think this is going to be very useful for you to possibly take on presentations with buyers and sellers to show them what's going on with the sales numbers. So hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of it. First of all, what's happened January, okay, through the end of October. You know, this is a graph we always use. You can see here that our sales were 1,447 in the month of October, which is up 5.5%. Also, look at our listings, 6,493 active listings at the end of October, down 5.7%. Now, if your sales are going up, your active listings are coming down, what's going on with months of inventory? It's got to be going down. It's down by 10.7%, down to 4.5. Really nice number to see right here, because this means, again, your market is strengthening a little bit, not necessarily in terms of sales, but in terms of price, because 4 to 6 balanced market, above 6 buyers market, below 4 sellers market. Strongest strongest month we had this year was May at 3.9. So we're moving the right way. But look at this. We started January, the average days in the market was 72. Right now we're sitting at 56. Okay, you can see that 55, 56, 55, you know, so sort of a nice number. We're now below 2 months the average time in the market. Let's look at this. What happened the same month year over year? 2018 in October, you did 1,320 sales, 1,447, up by almost 10%. Very nice number. What about sales, or I should say prices? We're 468. Last year in the same month, we're 454. We're down by 3%. So again, because your inventory, if we go back and we look at our inventory, you can see your inventory was fairly high, okay, and then it started to balance out. So over the course of the whole year, it's brought prices down by just a little, 3%. Now, let's have a look at this. Months of inventory. So what this tells us is the strength of the market. I use this graph all the time. The next one is going to be the new one, but this shows us what's going on in terms of the strength of the market in terms of price. So if we go back and look at 2017, you can see here in January started at over 4. This was a fairly strong year. Look, we're down here around 3, and then it started to creep up a little bit, and we ended the year at 4.3. What happened in 2018? Again, we started here just under 5, and it remained fairly steady, but then it started to creep up. You know, we got up here as high as just over 6 actually, and we ended at 6.2. Then we started this year, you can see up here just below 7, okay, and you can see we've constantly been coming down. We spiked a little bit here, but really not that much. And if you look at this right now, we're sitting at 4.5. Now this is interesting. Remember, 2017, you can see, was the strongest year we've had in the last 3 years. But look where we are. 2017 had 4.4 months of inventory. You look at 2019, you had 4.5 months of inventory. Last year, you had 5.6. What does all this mean? This means that you're starting to see some stabilization in your market, because this year, once we got through the first 3 months, it actually really started to stabilize for the majority of the rest of the year. So all very, very good news. Now this one's interesting here. So this is the total sales. This is a new chart. So look at 2017. You can see January, you started down here. You're actually below 1,000 sales. But then look what happened. We just took off. We get up here, and you can see up here we're doing not far off 2,200 sales, okay? And then it started to come down a little bit, and you can see what ended up happening. We got to December. Let's look at 2018. We started exactly where we did in 2017, but look how much below, in terms of the sales, okay, were taking place. Stayed all the way below what happened in 2017. But let's look at 2019. Yes, we started very low. But then we got here, we got to March, and in March we matched what we did last year. And then we started to go above what we did last year. All good news. Other than 1 month in here, we have stayed above what we did last year. We ended right here at 1,447 in October. So again, we're below where we were, you can see in 2017, but we're now pretty well consistently above where we were last year. And you can see the gap here in terms of what's going on. So I look at this and say, I think this is all really good news for your market. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I do believe that November and December will be better this year than it was last year. I don't think you're going to see any price growth the rest of this year. I think it's going to be relatively stable. However, barring interest rates going up, any economic uncertainty, if you will, we've now got the federal election over. I understand that a lot of people in Calgary aren't happy with the outcome, and I totally get that. I understand. However, what is, we need to deal with that. So I think what you're going to see in 2020, you're actually going to see things are going to start to pick up a little bit more. And I suspect that 2020, it might not match what we did in 2017, but I think it's going to be better than what we did in 2019 and 2018. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. And at the end of the day, remember everybody, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.